Good morning, everybody. This is Diggs. It's another beautiful Friday out here in the Pacific Northwest. I hope you guys are all doing absolutely fantastic. I hope you're getting psyched for your weekend. Today, we're going to be talking about the main story quest, so that means there's going to be lots of spoilers. We're going to talk about what I loved. We're going to talk about the Pinkie problem, and we're also going to be talking about what is absolutely freaking insane and asinine when I go through the story. But let's go ahead and let's dig in. So I got an entire list here. I got pictures, and we're just going to start from the very top of the list, and we're going to visit and talk first about the Helena side story that we got most recently when Black Rose Helena was released. And the first question that I have is, why on earth, Helena, did you lock yourself in a cage, and what was the benefit of that? Like, I don't understand why Helena couldn't escape, and I don't understand how Helena and King Elda had somehow masterminded this entire scenario to be absolutely perfect and ideal for them. I have no idea where Helena's headspace is. She seems fucking crazy to me. So I would say that whole story arc was a little weird. It was cool to get insight to Lumens. It was also very cool to get to know or not know the new Not-Vallaide character shown here on the left side of the screen. I have no idea what his name is. I have no idea what he does, but it's clear to me that he is the replacement to Vallaide, and that he is just the cooler version of Vallaide, kind of in general. Also, interesting point to make here. You'll notice that his weapon is a mace, and it's almost like a melee mace, right? It's not like a mace that like Mashery uses. So I'm wondering if this is going to be a new weapon type, because when we get to it, we also see Juriel has almost the exact same weapon as this guy does. So potentially a new weapon type in the future. Vallaide 2.0, I do love you. I love your look. And hopefully we do get to know just a little bit about you. Now, besides that, I would say the story was pretty good. I actually enjoyed the Helena side story. Now, transitioning to the main story, or the last three interludes, kind of, I actually really enjoyed the Uldoa arc with Kilfe. I actually it's been a long time since this game can actually evoke an emotion, and I think if you remove kind of Uldoa's problematic behavior in previous chapters as kind of like an antagonist figure slash didn't really have direction as a character, I felt like Uldoa is almost a fresh character, and a kind of almost like you get to see Uldoa's inner workings and Kilfe's inner workings was really touching, and you actually kind of feel bad for Uldoa, and Uldoa actually makes decisions that, I mean, if you were in a kingdom and in that position, it's very believable. And I think that's one thing that I love, is when a character and their actions are believable. And there's a couple characters that have done that, and there's a couple characters who have not done that. And I think it's a matter of being able to explain that to us through the storytelling. And I think Kilfe is another character that we really resonated with there. But what I didn't understand is why Kilfe stayed and why Kilfe has a love for Venice. And I get that she kind of has a love for Uldoa, but it felt like it wasn't explained enough. Maybe it just the relationship between Uldoa and Kilfe wasn't explained enough to kind of bolster or make me understand why Kilfe decided to stay and not kind of betray or defect to Leonis in any other way. I felt like that was a little bit awkward to me. But overall, I did love that entire interlude, and I did love kind of the transition of Uldoa to a main character, even if it seems a little contrary to how Uldoa has behaved previously. Melnia is a little bit of a weird character for me. I feel like we just don't know enough about Melnia, but that unnecessarily cruel character I have trouble identifying with, and it's a character that I just don't understand right now. I don't understand why they disappeared to Wizette. Like, I get that, like, Melnia's mindset is to, like, conquer kingdoms, and now that she'd conquered Wizette, she was, like, bored with it, but I don't know. Characters like that I don't really connect with, and it just feels weird. Like, it feels like Melnia is evil so that we have an evil character, right? Or Melnia is evil to kind of like project the plot. Like, I don't understand what that character, what is going on with that character. Talking about Mashery, I do want to talk about Mashery a bit, and I want to talk about Ketone. And Mashery, the Mashery Ketone Glaciella arc right now is kind of annoying to me. I don't really like the way that Mashery is behaving, and like, I get that Mashery is love struck, and I get that Ketone is also in love with Mont, but I don't think it adds anything to the story. It feels really like shallow to me. The interactions between Ketone and Mashery are like, oh, okay, like, this doesn't feel like, it just doesn't feel genuine. And not to mention when Juriel and Lizette appear, right, and they rescue them, Ketone literally has no idea that the two of them are following them. Like, Ketone, you have one job as a shinobi, and that is to make sure you're not getting followed. And you literally have two characters following Mashery all the way up to the castle. Like, it's just like, Ketone, come on. Like, it's not the most believable. Oh, Genesis, thank you. I guess I did not turn off my alerts for this video, but that's okay. You are now famous to yourself, Genesis. But yeah, it didn't feel the most believable to me. And it feels like drama, right? Like, it's just like drama for drama's sake that I don't need to have. Like, I don't need to see the harem girls fighting it all out. I will say, though, I think Glacella's reaction of feeling like Mashery had come to kill her, I do think that's reasonable. I do think Mashery is, you know, it makes sense, right? Like, most heroes in television shows, they like go forward and they want to partner with their allies. But I think Glaciella has the right to actually think, like, if you're thinking as a kingdom leader or a kingdomless leader, right, and your betrothed has kind of fallen in love with this kingdom who has betrayed you or attacked you in the past, I actually think it's 100% reasonable that Glaciella thinks that Mashery is there to kill her, right? Because Mont isn't there. It would be the perfect kind of situation. And I actually think, like, that's actually, like, pretty, like, spot on. I think if we didn't have the, like, Ketone and Mashery drama going on in the background, I think it would actually be a pretty good plot line, and I think it would actually make a lot of sense. Now, while we were talking about the Ketone Mashery Glaciella fight, Ketone interrupts the fight, and I think it's funny because Ketone says that she wants to protect the Horned bloodline, which, let's be honest, nobody knows Venera's pregnant yet, right? But I also think it's hilarious because Ketone is basically, like, messing up this honorable duel, right? And, like, Miranda and Grace and, or Kadia, sorry, Miranda, Kadia, and Mariluke are like, oh, you ruined this duel, so now we're going to fight you 3v1. And it's like, they're all about this honorable duel and letting Glaciella and Mashery fight, and then they literally 3v1 Ketone. Like, I don't know. It's just weird to me, right? Like, they're like, oh, you've ruined this honorable fight, so now we're gonna gank you. Like, it's okay. Like, sure, that works for me. Now let's talk about Mont and kind of I guess Venice has joined forces with Leonis now, and I think it's interesting that they got on a ship, and it just seems like a bad idea. Now let's talk about why it's a bad idea, because if you have the map of the world, right, Leonis basically went through WoTV and got on a ship here. This sound basically connects to an ocean, and there is a very clear like pincer area in here, and then WoTV is all along the ocean, right? So like Leonis has like almost no ocean front, and WoTV clearly has a huge ass ocean force. We found that out in the story. I just don't understand why you got on the goddamn ship. Like, why are you getting on the ship? They're obviously going to have the sound blockaded. It just doesn't make sense. I don't understand why they're on the ship. Like, I don't think they could get far. I don't think they could get out of the sound even, right? Like, I don't know. It just seems like a stupid decision to me. Maybe it's lazy writing. Maybe there's a reason behind it. It just doesn't make sense. Now, what also doesn't make sense is the giant ass pink box that was in every single cutscene that I'm pretty sure was a bug on the JP side that is now also a bug on the global side. So if you have not played the global story right now, you are missing out, because the entire latest section of global story right now that was released is basically written with pink boxes, and it's hilarious. Like, the pink boxes are everywhere, and I'll show you a picture here. And you know, actually I'll show you Chrome actually, because I have a whole bunch of pictures and I just want to show you guys all of them, because I personally think it's so funny and it's so terrible that, like, I just want to show you guys, because I think it's absolutely terrible. Like, I don't understand how something like this can happen, right? Like, in my mind, I'm just like, how can you like not quality check this, right? So here's one picture. You know, we'll just let me get it up here. We'll cover up the game there. This is one picture where they are talking, you know, and they're like, oh, the arrow was launched. So, you know, like, not, you know, I was like, okay, this is one screen, right? Well, here's another. And this one is where Pinkie has decided to step in between Mont and Lilith. Very important things to do. Pinkie is very busy. You can see that Pinkie here actually landed with the arrow as well in the storyline. So this was not an isolated Pinkie event. Pinkie is actually the new War of the Visions unit that none of us knew about. You can even see here that Uldoa is talking to Pinkie. Uldoa is very actively involved with Pinkie. Pinkie, you know, is even hiding in Mont's shadow. So there may be a ninjutsu element to Pinkie that none of us were aware of, you know? Like, just, it's literally right under there, stealthing its way under Mont. It might even be another love story with Mont. You never really know here. But you can see just like, it's everywhere. It's completely dominating the storyline. So I don't know where we're going with this Pinkie shenanigans, but I like it, and I am hashtag Team Pinkie, and I do think that Pinkie needs to become a character. In all seriousness, though, don't you play through the story when you upload it? Like, I don't know. It's not even in the notices, as far as I can tell, that there is like glaring pink bars everywhere in the main story right now that was just released. Anyway. Hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. As always, if you want to support me, make sure you go to dig.gs/coins, and have a great rest of your day.